In the grand theater of American politics, recent events have unfolded like a drama filled with tension, conflict, and a touch of absurdity. As the curtain lifts, we see a landscape painted with intrigue, suspense, and an air of unanticipated surprises. This narrative is a complex tapestry, intertwining the stories of an ex-president's post office fundraising, the unexpected failure of a major bank in Silicon Valley, and the controversial utterances of a former Republican senator on the influence of Native Americans on American culture. Let's begin with the intriguing scenario surrounding former President Donald Trump's fundraising efforts. As Trump exited the presidential office, his political organizations embarked on a relentless fundraising campaign. They have succeeded in accumulating an impressive amount of nearly $102 million within a mere 6-month period. A figure that might make one gasp in awe and wonder about its utilization. One might think that the funds raised were allocated to support Trump's relentless insistence on election fraud and to fund audits to validate his claims. However, as the data surfaces, we see a different picture. Despite vociferously soliciting donations for the specific purpose of funding audits to substantiate his claims of the election, not a single dollar has been channeled towards these initiatives. It begs the question of where the funds are being utilized. As we delve deeper into the structure and expenditure of Trump's fundraising strategy, we see it bears striking similarities to televangelist tactics, a method characterized by a blend of fear-mongering and fervent appeals for financial support to expand their resources. The fundraising narrative has been cleverly twisted and turned, playing on the emotions of Trump's supporters, fueling their fears, igniting their sense of loyalty, and leveraging their frustrations over the recent election. By expertly weaving this narrative of fear and helplessness, it appears that the funds are being used to serve the personal and political interests of the former president and his coterie, rather than the causes they publicly advocate for. It's a tale of smoke and mirrors, where the reality is obscured by a cleverly contrived narrative. As we pull back the curtain, the illusion fades, revealing a different truth. An unsettling revelation that leaves us with a lingering question: what is the true purpose of this amassed wealth? After all, as the saying goes, money talks. But in this case, it seems to be whispering a different tale. Rather, Trump's fundraising strategy mirrors that of televangelists, using a blend of fear-mongering and appeals for help to enrich the coffers. Now let's shift the scene to the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. The bank, once a beacon of financial stability, fell into a downward spiral, the end of which was a catastrophe that sent shockwaves through the entire financial sector. This catastrophe, however, was not just an isolated incident. It was the culmination of a series of missteps, mismanagement, and missed opportunities that were symptomatic of a deeper, more troubling issue in our society. This financial debacle has underscored the dangers of a hyper-polarized political environment. It has shed light on the disturbing fact that political affiliations and ideologies often take precedence over addressing the pressing issues at hand. The downfall of the bank has turned into a political football, kicked around by politicians on both sides of the aisle, all too eager to score rather than find solutions. The Republicans and Democrats, the two major parties of the country, have reacted with a flurry of accusations and finger-pointing. The blame game is in full swing, with each party quick to paint the other as the villain. But what's more worrying is that this blame game is not confined to the halls of the Capitol. It's a reflection of the deep-seated divisions that have permeated every aspect of our society. These divisions, fueled by partisan politics, are widening the chasm between the parties, turning political discourse into a zero-sum game. The lack of unity in addressing the financial crisis is just a symptom of this larger problem. The political landscape is becoming increasingly polarized, with compromise and consensus building becoming a thing of the past. The bank's downfall was the result of poor management and challenging economic conditions. There's no doubt about that. But the response from the political realm has been less than ideal. Instead of working together to mitigate the damage and prevent a recurrence, the political response has been marked by discord and disunity. Hard questions need to be asked about the role of regulatory bodies and the efficacy of oversight mechanism. We need to scrutinize the decisions made by the bank's management, and there should be consequences any negligence or misconduct. But all that seems to have been drowned out by the political noise. The political response to this crisis is indicative of a larger issue, a deep-seated mistrust between the parties that could hinder the government's capacity to manage future crises. This mistrust, fueled by years of bitter partisanship, could threaten our ability to respond effectively to future financial crises. The actions taken in the wake of the bank's collapse will set a precedent for how future crises are handled. If the current political climate persists, the government's capacity to manage such crises could be severely compromised. We need to move beyond finger-pointing and work towards a common goal, or else the very fabric of our democracy might be at risk. We can't afford to let our political differences dictate how we respond to crises. The collapse of Silicon Valley Bank should be a wake-up call, a stern reminder that when it comes to the financial health of our nation, we must stand united. Finally, we shift our attention to the contentious comments made by the former Republican Senator, Rick Santorum. A seasoned politician with a reputation for making incendiary statements, this time, Santorum has stirred the pot by suggesting that Native Americans' contribution to American culture was negligible. This most recent statement has caused tumult and upheaval among the public and political circles alike. Santorum, who has served the American people in the capacity of a senator, has been known to court controversy with his remarks. However, his insinuation that the indigenous people didn't have much of a role in shaping American culture has been perceived as an attempt to rewrite history and diminish Native contributions. The controversy has sparked conversations around key issues of cultural representation. It has led to an explosion of discussions, both online and offline, that delve into the complex relationships between indigenous cultures, identity politics, and the dominant narratives of American history. This political controversy has also shone a spotlight on the historical narrative of the United States. Scholars, activists, and members of the public have been prompted to revisit the history of the country, scrutinizing the deeply ingrained narratives that have, for so long, sidelined the contributions of its indigenous people. From the establishment of democratic institutions to the preservation of environmental diversity, Native Americans played a crucial role in shaping the United States. The backlash against Santorum's statement has been swift and decisive. Many have deemed his comments not only offensive but also deeply disrespectful. It reflects an egregious disregard for the rich tapestry that makes up American culture, woven together by the contributions of many diverse groups, including the indigenous peoples. One cannot talk about American culture without acknowledging the influence of its native populace. From the democratic ideals embedded in the Iroquois Confederacy, later adopted by the Founding Fathers, to the sustainable farming practices that influenced modern agricultural techniques. The native population has been instrumental in shaping the many aspects of American culture and society. This incident brings to the forefront the tension that continues to exist around issues of cultural representation. It underlines the need to confront the biases that persist in our societal and historical narratives. It also highlights the ongoing struggle for recognition and respect that indigenous communities continue to face in the United States. This statement sparked a backlash, illustrating the tension around issues of cultural representation and historical narrative in the United States. In conclusion, these events reflect the intricate web of American politics, where issues of power, money, and cultural identity intertwine. The very fabric of our system is akin to a complex tapestry, each thread representing an aspect of our diverse society. The threads of power, fiscal influence, and cultural identity are perhaps the most dominant, often dictating the direction of our nation's discourse. The balance of power, for instance, is a crucial aspect of our democratic society. It ensures that no single entity or individual holds unchecked authority championing the ideals of equality and justice. However, the delicate equilibrium is often disrupted, leading to an intense struggle to restore parity. This volatile power dynamic is a testament to the continuous evolution of American politics, a fascinating, albeit often tumultuous journey. Equally significant is the role of money in shaping political landscapes. The exchange of wealth plays a pivotal part in determining the trajectory of our nation's decisions. It aids in catalyzing progress, yet also has the potential to fuel corruption. The influence of fiscal elements on our politics cannot necessitating a more transparent approach to political fundraising. It's imperative to remember that while money can empower, it should never be allowed to manipulate the political narrative. Then there's the complex matter of cultural identity, a beautiful amalgamation of diverse traditions, beliefs, and customs that make America unique. This rich cultural tapestry, however, often becomes a battleground for political tug-of-war. Misunderstandings and misconceptions surrounding our varied cultural heritage can lead to divisions, underlining the need to better understand and appreciate our shared diversity. The interplay of these threads, power, money, and cultural identity, is what fundamentally shapes our political landscape. Understanding this intricate relationship is key to navigating the choppy waters of American politics. It demands unity in our collective approach to crises and an openness to embrace the diversity that defines us. Recognizing these nuances in our political fabric is more than just an intellectual exercise. It's a call to action for each citizen, urging us to strive for unity, transparency, and mutual respect. It's about building a nation that values the collective whole, not just the individual parts. It is a call for a more empathetic, inclusive, and equitable society. They underscore the need for unity in addressing crises, a more transparent approach to political fundraising, and a better understanding of the nation's diverse cultural heritage.